A very good afternoon to you. This is Tuesday's edition of Lunchtime News on MTV Sports, bringing you the news live from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I am Hizrina Hizbi. We'll start off with a look at your headlines. Who will be the opposition leader? Nimal, Dinesh or Sambandhan? Decision today. The debt ceiling for Treasury bonds increased to 400 billion. Proposal to Parliament today. Child killed in assault in Puntland. 44 Sri Lankans reach Djibouti, escaping the conflict-ridden areas in Yemen. Elephant calf seized by wildlife officers in Athargiria, handed over to Pinnavada. And now for the news in detail. The Speaker is expected to announce the decision on the post of opposition leader to Parliament at 1 p.m. today. According to our parliamentary correspondent Amarashri Bandara, the position of the opposition leader lies between MPs Nimal Siripal de Silva, Dinesh Gunawardena and R. Sambandhan. Now, in addition, a proposal to raise the Treasury bond debt ceiling by 400 billion rupees will also be presented to Parliament today. The proposal reads that the government's debt ceiling via Treasury bonds be increased from 850 billion rupees to 1,250 billion rupees. Moreover, the bond controversy and the government's investment policy is also to be discussed in the chambers today. Amarashri Bandara added that the status of several development projects will also be discussed, while the economic plan for the new government will be presented to the Parliament in extensive details for the first time today. Also in local news this afternoon, President Maithripala Sirisena called on the President of Pakistan, Mamnoon Hussain, at the country's presidential palace yesterday. Newsfirst's Rinaz Mohammed, who is in Pakistan, noted the discussions were held on how to further strengthen relations between the two nations.
At the meeting, the President of Pakistan had noted that the visit of the President of Sri Lanka is a historic occasion. Subsequently, President Sirisena attended a dinner hosted by the President of Pakistan.
Sri Lanka Janadipati Maithripala Sirisena Mahatma's Sanchara.
In line with the state visit of President Maithripala Sirisena, several TV stations are airing live coverages of the state visits. Meanwhile, several programs are aired on Pakistani television on this visit by the Sri Lankan president. Today, President Sirisena is due to visit the Takshila Museum. The president has allocated the day to visit the Buddhist shrines and relics in Pakistan. In the early hours of this visit, President Sirisena planted a tree to mark his visit. We have a detailed report on this state visit coming up on our primetime news.
Islamabad News First
Moreover, in local news, leader of Democratic Party Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca attended a public gathering held at Gampala Municipal Council Hall.
50% of the government consists of corrupt ministers who should step down from politics. But all of them have managed to creep into the all-important cabinet. This is what the leaders of both parties wanted. Both of them cannot urge at the same time that this country needs to be steered onto the right path. Because these parties have been in existence for the past 30 to 40 years, and over the recent past, corrupt people have entered these parties. Now it all cannot be cleaned up at once. If that happens, the party will collapse. Therefore, we need to understand that we will have to work with these corrupt politicians for some time.
Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca also exposed on the manner in which he was to receive benefits and money during the presidential elections.
I received messages after messages during the presidential elections. I was told that I will receive 2,000 million rupees, acres of land. They offered certain things to my wife. They said they will drop all court cases against my children in 24 hours. But we did not kneel before any of that. Because we think of the country, we did not kneel. Although we ate prison food, we did not kneel. But Rajpaksas has knelt.
On to one of our headline-making stories. 44 Sri Lankans who were stranded in the midst of fighting in Yemen have been brought to Djibouti. Assistant Director of Public Relations at the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment, Dinesha Samarasinha, has said that the Sri Lankans will be brought back to Sri Lanka by air. The 44 Sri Lankans who were stranded in conflict-stricken Yemen were brought to Djibouti in the Horn of Africa yesterday. Acting Ambassador of China to Sri Lanka, Ren Fa-Chang, said that the Chinese Navy assisted the evacuation at around 12 noon yesterday. The Public Relations Office of the Foreign Employment Bureau confirmed that the Sri Lankans were brought to Djibouti at around 4 this morning. 25 Chinese nationals were also brought to Djibouti along with a group of Sri Lankans.
The Chinese vessel carrying 44 Sri Lankan nationals left Yemen from Hodeidah port. I got to know that the vessel had arrived in Djibouti around 6 a.m. local time. Now they are safe and we are really happy about it. I would like to thank Syriza for this. Syriza helped us from the start. They voiced our need to bring back our families to safety. I take this opportunity to thank Syriza.
Welcome back to the news. In other stories here at home, the elephant calf, which was taken into custody of the wildlife officers in the Uruwala area in Athurugiria recently, was presented before the Kaduwala magistrate last night. The magistrate ordered that the elephant calf be transferred to the Pinnavala Elephant Orphanage.
The Kaduwala magistrate also ordered the release of the two mahouts on bail.
What we initially said was that this elephant was kept with a registered license, but the Wildlife Department seized the elephant because the license wasn't renewed. However, the court ordered that the elephant be transferred to the Pinnavala orphanage. When we were presenting these facts to court, wildlife officials as well as the Department of Wildlife admitted that there were certain shortcomings in this matter. We arrested the mahouts as well as two individuals who were taking care of these elephants over this case. They were released on a surety bail of 200,000 rupees. We received orders to take the elephant calf to the Pinnavala Elephant Orphanage. In addition, we received all the orders regarding the other complaint. No, he did not come. We have presented facts to court regarding that.
The hearing of the case was postponed until the 23rd of July by the Kaduwala magistrate. The elephant calf, which was handed over to the Pinnavala orphanage, allegedly belonged to an individual named Maharagam Ali Roshan. The two elephants, which were used for polo tournaments, were seized during a raid conducted by the Wildlife Department in the Uruwala area in Athurugiria. At this instance, wildlife officials tried to hand over the elephant to the Kathiarachi based on the license on the elephant, which is presented to court.
Furthermore, in local news, 2 arrests have been made over the incident where a child was beaten to death in Karuwala Gaswava, Putsalam. The father of the victim and another relative were arrested by the police. According to police media spokesperson ASP Ruan Gunasekara, the post-mortem examination has revealed that the cause of the death was assault. Investigations have revealed that the father and the aunt of the victim had carried out the assault and they would be produced before courts today. The police went on to say that the victim's mother has gone overseas to serve as a domestic aide a month ago, leaving the child in the custody of her husband and sister. Now, the national event to celebrate International Day for Sports was held under the auspices of the Minister of Sports at the Noora Elia Municipal Council Indoor Stadium.
The fitness program for schools and encouragement to engage in sports to prevent non-communicable diseases was reintroduced at the event. As the Minister of Sports, I am prepared to take policy-based decisions for the betterment of sports. There is no agenda for sports, no personal agendas. At this instance, I state that only the agenda that exists in the agenda to uplift sportsmen and women as well as sports itself. It may be cricket. Amidst many disruption and threats, I appointed a very talented and skilled interim committee. This committee has the complete freedom to take any decision regarding the sport. We took a decision that officials who have served for more than 4 years despite many problems faced, heartbreaks and much commitment cannot contest for positions in the council. Some may get angry about it. I am sorry. These are not personal decisions, but as a sports minister, I take policy-made decisions.
Well, that's a wrap of the day's edition of Lunchtime News on MTV Sports. I'm Hizrina Hizbi. Our hourly live at 55 news updates will come your way at 1:55. Until then, have a pleasant afternoon ahead.